tension is mounting and the excitement is building as we join you inside historic Nat Holman Gymnasium from the campus of the City College of New York at Manhattan's Upper West Side. Tonight it's the CUNYAC Women's Basketball Championship game. Tonight is the defending champion CSI Dolphins at 21-5 taking on the 23-3 Brooklyn College Bulldogs. Here's a look at our bracket, as top-seeded Brooklyn got past Hunter in their semifinal, while CSI got past a very good Lehman team in their semi. And with that, hello, welcome tonight on Facebook Live alongside Nick Diamantis. I'm Ralph Bednarczyk. This is a rematch from last year's CUNYAC championship game where Brooklyn College had their hearts broken. This year, they returned just two players that played significant minutes in that one, Nick. But you look at who they bring back, senior point guard Karen Mack, looking to deliver the program just their second tournament championship and first since 1980 tonight.
And if Brooklyn College wants to get the win tonight, Karen Mack's going to have to erase memory of last year's title game loss. Last year, only finishing with 4 points and 2 of 13 from the field. That's not going to cut it tonight, and Coach Lang expects everything from her senior point guard tonight. We know what she could do on the floor. She's an elusive point guard with the basketball in her hands, a great scorer and a great defender. She's going to have an excellent game tonight for Brooklyn.
And meanwhile, for the College of Staten Island, they're the defending champs. They bring back all but one player from last year's CUNY championship team, including the two-time reigning CUNY Player of the Year and their all-time leading scorer, Christina Pasteur.
And Christina's done everything for this Dolphins program the last 4 years. She's been an excellent competitor, always driven to succeed no matter what she does. She's always been a great leader for this Dolphins team and a great student in the classroom as well. Expect a great performance tonight from Christina if CSI is going to come away with the victory tonight.
We're underway in the CUNY Women's Basketball Championship game. Brooklyn in the white-on-white and the black-on-black for Staten Island. Third meeting of the season between the two. The road team won the regular season meeting, and rebounding was the major difference maker between the two. We'll introduce our third member of our team today, Jillian Sakovitz, on the sideline in a moment. Here's Karen Mack with the shot clock down to 1, missing a 3, and the rebound cleared by Christina Pasteur. The Dolphins love to run and gun with Victoria Prey under pressure.
And we mentioned what CSI would do on defense. Their first possession, they stick to their man-to-man and forcing a tough shot on Brooklyn at the last second of the shot clock.
Samantha Flecker, also first team All-CUNYAC Conference. And Cray down to wing, Diana Todaro. Shot clock to 4 for Cray, looking for the return feed, knocked away by Veronica Green. Here's Ali Mugen pushing for Brooklyn, and Mugen is rejected by Pasteur. And the energy already at a high level as we begin this one with 1 minute in to the first quarter.
It's a good sign on defense for both sides. Creating a turnover was Mugen for Brooklyn and Pasteur with a big block.
Karen Mack getting the high screen. Brooklyn disappointed off their semifinal showing, Nick. 28 turnovers. This one will be deflected out by CSI, but Coach Alex Lang not happy the way the team cruised into this one, but it's a very young team, again, with just 2 players back that played significant minutes in last year's game. They lost a total of 9 players and 7 seniors, but are back to where they were a year ago. And that's why Alex Lang was named CUNY Coach of the Year. And here's a turnover as Cray on the push. Up ahead, the great feed to Flecker to start the championship game scoring.
And that's the bread and butter for CSI. They love to run and gun on offense. Transition points could be the difference for CSI if they win the game tonight.
Samantha Flecker, after being 2-time second team all-conference in her senior year, the 5'7" senior out of St. John Villan at Staten Island, put together her best year. And now the second Brooklyn turnover. Pasteur, the feed ahead, but the layup missed by Jacqueline Calley.
And points in the paint, you got to capitalize on all those, especially in a championship game. Jacqueline Calley is going to wish that she had that one go in.
Brooklyn has won 3 in a row. It's their 6th straight 20-win season. Veronica Green with the shot clock again under 10. Mack, who's been starting since the tail end of her sophomore year, left it for junior college transfer Jasmine Henson starting the scoring. She comes to Brooklyn from all the way from Salt Lake City, Utah.
And Brooklyn with their first points of the game, still not the greatest possession, almost fumbled the ball was Mack, but Henson able to compose herself and get the jump shot to go.
Toro leaves it for Jackie Cowie. And off on the three, however, last touch by Green. It'll remain with the Dolphins. Staten Island coming in as one of the nation's best offenses. They led the CUNY in scoring and are 11th in the country at nearly 79 points a game. Shot blocked inside on Todaro. And the Dolphins will keep it. Brooklyn, a much different identity, Nick. Defense is the story as we see Coach Tim Shanahan in his 6th season coaching the program, 11th year overall taking over as assistant, and after a long and distinguished career in law enforcement, played his collegiate basketball at Kingsborough Community College and at Creighton briefly, and he was a baseball player there too. He's fallen in love with this team and being a coach. Shot clock to 10, good feed inside, there's a block by Henshin underneath on Diana Todaro of CSI. And then Todaro compounds the matter by committing the personal.
That's an excellent block there by Henshin. Todaro's been getting the ball in the paint a lot for CSI. He's going to have to be more composed there, as she's had her couple shots blocked already in this game.
While Brooklyn has turned it over a couple of times. Here's Karen Mack, make that number 3. So not the start that Brooklyn coach Alex Lang would like, but what a job he did winning his 5th CUNY Coach of the Year honor this year in the last 10 years. This is his 16th year he took over the program after he just had 2 wins the year before at the age of 24.
And he's been integral for the Brooklyn College program. He's built it literally from scratch here, and it's 7th year in a row with 20 plus wins.
A travel outside against College of Staten Island. As CSI showing full court pressure for the first time. Here's the CUNY Rookie of the Year, just 5 foot. A freshman from Whitehall, Pennsylvania, who last year was a student at Temple University before she missed playing basketball, missed being part of a team. Taylor George putting together a super season. Mack will leave it for Mugen. An air ball on the 3. And the loose ball recovered by Victoria Craig.
And Mugen is a 3-point specialist, but again, forcing up a shot that could have been a better look.
That's Victoria Cray in rhythm into a 2. A 3-year starter. And back from 2 years ago, missing the season due to a torn ACL. Mugen this time in better rhythm. And she started for her first 2 from 3.
Yep, and she had a tough game last year as well, not just Karen Mack. Seeing the pressure from CSI early, and it's affecting Brooklyn.
So the Bulldogs have started 1 of their first 5. Staten Island 2 of their first 6. It's still a settling in moment for these 2 programs. And that's the way it was a year ago. Staten Island winning 53-42 as George applies the pressure. And Cray picking up her dribble. And it was such a low-scoring game, Nick. It was the lowest-scoring game of the season for both teams.
And we expect those 2 teams to put on the pressure again this year.
Cray with the shot clock running down. Mack had the rebound, ripped away by Todaro. Stat line again as Pasteur orchestrated to Flecker. And the conference's 2-time player of the year goes to work with the hook shot. No, Pasteur got her own miss, blocked away by Green. And the loose ball scrap recovered by Brooklyn's George.
And both teams play an excellent defense so far, not giving up on any possession.
George, who's been a spark plug, is fouled off the pump fake. Samantha Flecker picking up the foul. It's a defensive battle to start. The College of Staten Island, the defending champions, with a 4-2 advantage with a timeout on the floor. We are...
Timeout on the floor. Ladies and gentlemen, let me take this opportunity to welcome your cheerleaders from the College of Staten Island.
I'm a CUNY early college graduate, where I graduated with my high school diploma and associate's degree. Being that I was so young taking college classes gave me more motivation to continue my education. I went on to finish my undergrad at Brooklyn College. And I currently work as a 6th grade math teacher at the same very school that I graduated from as an early college student.
Welcome back here to Nat Holman Gym. Ralph Bjornchuk with Nick Diamantis. Jillian Sakovitz, our sideline reporter, bringing you the 2018 CUNYAC Women's Basketball Championship game, a rematch from a year ago, which was won by Staten Island. Then they were the 3 seed, defeating the top-seeded Brooklyn Bulldogs. But this year, Nick, the experience is all on the Staten Island side.
Absolutely, and it all starts with Christina Pasteur and Samantha Flecker, 2 of the highest vote getters in the conference voting for All-Stars this year. They combined for almost 60% of the team's points throughout the season, too. So if CSI is going to want to come away with the W here for the 2nd straight year, they're both going to have excellent games tonight.
So here is the diminutive freshman who plays with a lot of fire, Taylor George. Coming from a very good high school program at Whitehall High School in suburban Pennsylvania, and she misses the first. And that's a rarity because she is the conference's leader at 87%. And perhaps an example of the nerves of this final before she recovers and hits the second. She was playing club field hockey last year just to kind of get that athletic bug out of her while she was attending school at Temple, and finally decided she wanted to get back to playing a sport. Flecker defended by Mugen. Shot clock to 10 again for Cray. Kicking to the corner for a wide open 3 from Callie, and Brooklyn able to rebound. The team that won the rebounding battle in the 2 regular season games came out victorious. And here off the bench, that's a short shot by Chanel Jamat, but there is the follow for Brooklyn.
And that's a case of being in the right place at the right time for Brooklyn College. Excellent finish for Henshin there.
Second field goal for Jasmine Henshin. Todaro then has it ripped away from Jamont. Off it comes to George in transition. The skip as Mugen will try another 3. It will stay with Brooklyn.
And that's another miss from Mugen there. Usually doesn't take her that long to get into the rhythm shooting from behind the arc. But in this capacity, in front of this large crowd, it may take her longer to get that first 3-pointer to go.
Allie Mugen has missed her first 3. She is second in the conference and makes, only behind Pasatoro. Jamont missed inside on the baseline of the bounds. And on the push, here is Angelique Price. And Price swatted away by Jamont. George on the push with Brooklyn having the lead and the basketball. Henshin will skip it. And on the cut, Henshin. And she ran into a Staten Island player. That'll be the foul against Angelique Price.
That's a tough call there. It seemed like Angelique Price just found her footing on the block as the pass was coming in there. Not the kind of foul you want against CSI. Still early in the quarter, though.
And also to the game, 5'5" freshman Michelle Pena for the first time for Brooklyn. Coach Alex Lang may play as many as 9 players. And many of the newcomers in tonight's CUNY final. He's been very pleased with their development as George missed. Jamont gathers and leaves it for Pena. Mugen flying in for the rebound and finally knocks it down.
And Brooklyn College has been winning all the 50-50 balls this quarter as the momentum is starting to shift their way.
The deflection out of bounds to keep it with Staten Island. And the tempo of the game is, we showed you Tim Shanahan. He wants to run, play the game at 100 miles an hour. Bassatoro is being defended by George. As the conference's leading scorer has yet to not walk down. She's 0 for 2.
CSI without points for the last 4 minutes in this quarter.
Bassatoro, and she'll get the bump. A blocking call against Michelle Pena with just 6 seconds remaining on the shot clock. There's Christina Pasatoro. As Tim Shanahan says, she is such an assassin, but she is yet at the same time so unselfish. The number's fantastic, but maybe the most amazing thing that she is averaging nearly 4.5 assists a game. A fresh shot clock. Price took it into Jamont, who rolled off well.
That's an excellent block from Jamont. That's her second in a couple of minutes of play here.
And Jamont took it into a crowd, turned it over. Todaro leaving it. Pasatoro could not convert. Flecker on the rebound for Staten Island.
And Pasteur had the pressure from Taylor George there. Excellent rebound by Samantha Flecker with 2 Brooklyn girls on her.
Pass to Toro, short on the 3. And Brooklyn playing the game to their liking, 7-4 Bulldogs. Underneath the feed, Jamat got the pass.
And Brooklyn forwards have been staying on the block the entire offensive possession throughout this quarter. That time, too much space for Jamat there.
A foul on the floor as Price made her move against Jasmine Henshin. For the Bulldogs, their style has been defensive oriented as we see the good feed.
And again, Toro shifting into the paint a little bit too much, trying to shadow the ball side there. A little bit of a lack of help there as well from Price, and they got to make sure they don't have that happen.
Staten Island goes to their bench. Here's the 6-foot junior Rosa Perone missing the shot. And up ahead, Brooklyn will push it themselves with 5'2" junior Emma Summers. As this one rimmed out. And Pasteur again trying to push it. And her pass is off the fingertips of Angelique Price. So that is the 4th CSI turnover.
And it's been a tough quarter for both teams when it comes to controlling the basketball. No team trying to do too much, but no rhythm at the same time.
Here's Veronica Green, the 6'3" center. Good layoff. Jamat missed the shot. Out it comes to Mugen. Green on the glass. Will be able to tip it out to Summers. Then Mugen again with the turnaround left-hand hook. Jamat in traffic. And Jamat that time blocked on the second effort by Perone.
Excellent defensive effort there by Perone as Jamat had 3 chances to put points on the board.
Price missed the pull-up. And a physical tie-up between Mugen and Victoria Cray. The arrow will point to Staten Island, but for Alex Lang, his team in the last decade really has been defined by defense and rebounding. They're #1 in the conference, allowing just 50 points a game, 21st in the country, and 12th in the country with a +12 rebounding margin. As they'll get the turnover, a travel called inside against Rosa Perone.
I think CSI desperately wants this quarter to end to have another discussion in the huddle with Coach Tim Shanahan, as it has not been a good start for the Dolphins.
And Brooklyn has grinded this one to a 9-4 lead, holding Staten Island, a proficient offensive team, to just 2 of 16 in the opening quarter. And an 8-second shot and first quarter game clock differential. Green lost it off of her foot. So as expected, nerves perhaps as I talked to Alex Lang, the Brooklyn coach. They are in their 6th final in the last 7 years. When you go to playing on a big stage, a television broadcast, a lot more fans. He has seen his veteran players. Not everybody is able to adapt to that quickly as Pasteur misses a 3 and airballs in.
And an 0-for-4 start by Christina Pasteur. Not used to seeing that throughout her 4-year career for CSI. It's been tough for all the CSI players to get into rhythm.
With 4 seconds to go in the quarter. But this has gone the way that the Bulldogs would love it. They come in having won 3 in a row, but struggled in their semifinal as Karen Mack has it deflected out by Flecker with just 1 second remaining in the first. Mugen will get it in, and Mack will not be able to get a shot off. But so far the recipe for success points the Bulldogs' way. They hold down the hot shooting Staten Island program to just 4 points in the opening quarter. It is a 9-4 game in the CUNYAC Women's Basketball Championship game presented by Army ROTC.
When I decided to enroll back into school, being a mother, it was hard in getting back into studying. So I went through Math Start instead of having to do the remedial. And I continued into the ASAP program, which has been life-changing for me.
I started in the continuing education program as an ESL student. And my interaction with faculty really changed my view on how much education can provide.
9-4, Brooklyn College leading the College of Staten Island tonight from the CUNY Women's Basketball Championship game. Ralph Bednarchik, Nick Diamantis, our sideline reporter Jillian Sakovich, and our entire crew tonight from the CCNY campus on Manhattan's Upper West Side. And we start the second quarter with an immediate turnover as Brooklyn gives it away for the 6th time. Well, the shooting numbers, Nick, of Staten Island, 2 of 17. That's the number that jumps out at you. Again, an offense that's averaging 79 points a game and shoots it at a conference best 42% from the floor. But here's a good skip pass as Toro is again short on the 3. And the conference's player of the year is now 0 for her first 6. Price, though, comes back with a 3.
CSI, all they got to do in this second quarter is find the right opportunity to put up shots. Trying to force it a lot in that first quarter. It's not out of reach. It's 9-7. Plenty of game left for both these teams.
Mack against pressure. And because CSI has not scored a lot, Nick, they have not been able to set up their press. As Mack with a pretty runner and scores. Karen Mack hoping for a big bounce-back game off of last year's struggle.
And that's a great look from Mack there, utilizing her elusiveness to find the space in the man-to-man defense for that point.
Price with a wraparound pass, turned it over.
And again, a little bit of trying to do too much for CSI. That is not the kind of basketball Tim Shanahan emphasizes throughout the season.
It was great sitting down and chatting with Coach Shanahan this week. He does not carry his practices on with a whistle. He does a lot of scrimmaging. He is not a guy that believes in a ton of drills. He likes to have the players scrimmage against each other and has been very pleased with the way his bench has been coming along. They recently beat his starters. Veronica Green. Shot clock to 5 as Mack steps back and missed on the front iron.
That's good defense there by Samantha Flecker. The height advantage proving to be very tough for Karen Mack in the start of the game, only putting up 2 shots before that attempt.
A zone look now for Brooklyn. Price will try from nearly the same spot. And Mugen able to corral the miss. And the Dolphins, a wonderful outside shooting team generally. 30% from 3, good numbers for Division III, which is 2nd in the conference.
And Brooklyn's zone defense is going to force CSI to slow things down and not play with the running gun offense that they're accustomed to.
Here's a timeout by Brooklyn's Alex Lang, with his team holding on to a 4-point lead tonight.
No one ever won a race because it was their turn. And guzzling the right sports drink never won all 3 sets. You can't talk your way through a tournament, and luck doesn't last. Real champions know that it takes more to do more, because wanting it just isn't good enough. You've got to be smarter, faster, tougher. After all, if championships were easy, everybody would have one. City University of New York Athletic Conference. Learn, play, succeed.
And we're back having a good time at CCNY from the historic Nat Holman Gymnasium. Women's basketball championship game in the CUNY Athletic Conference. The CUNYAC would like to let you know that there is a student's first reward opportunity. Win free tuition for a year in the CUNYAC Inclusive Sports Initiative. Sounds like a great deal. It's been a great deal for Brooklyn, Nick, as they have held Staten Island to just 15% from the floor, 3 of 20, and only 1 3.
They're making it difficult for CSI to find the right percentage shot. And it's been excellent defense. And Coach Lang switching it up, now going with the zone defense, forcing CSI to slow things down.
Jasmine Henshin had a good opening quarter. And Henshin was surrounded. Good feed inside, and they snuck it through traffic, and Taylor George found a crack.
Taylor George is the Energizer Bunny for this team.
Pasteur is off.
And Taylor George all over the court, always finding the right spot and the empty space on offense.
George up high, meanwhile, off of Christina Pasaturo's miss. She's now 0 of 7 and 0 of 4 from 3. Shot clock to 8 as George flipped it into Henshin. And a travel called underneath.
That's a good call there. Jasmine not aware of the person behind her. A good double team on the block there, as that made things totally difficult for Brooklyn there.
Good pressure by George all over Cray. Again, the 2-3 zone look. Green able to knock it away. Still 12 to shoot for Price. Angelique Price, good find inside, and that is a much-needed basket for Jackie Callie.
And that's what CSI is going to have to do tonight. Get the ball inside when needed. It's not all going to come from behind the arc.
Jackie Callie, a 5'7" junior out of the Notre Dame Academy in Staten Island. Off one dribble, Michelle Pena is short on the jumper. And Staten Island, a rare chance to run in this one. Flecker will leave it. Gray with a good extra. Out to Pasatoro. And the conference's two-time player of the year is trying to get herself going.
Really trying to get the team going. And she's taking shots that she's accustomed to making. Again, it's all about being in this limelight, in this atmosphere tonight. Getting a little bit to the head of Christina tonight.
So that's now an 0 of 8 figure, but last year was an honorable mention All-American. Just a super player, a preseason All-American by D3Hoops.com. The program's all-time leading scorer set back in November the 18th, and the all-time leader in made threes. Over 2,000 career points. Someone that Tim Shanahan says her work ethic, her competitive nature is what makes her special on the floor. Stepping back for a 3, there's Samantha Flecker.
And that's her first take from behind the arc. She's known to light it up from behind the arc. See if she can get her team rolling.
A 30% three-point shooter. CSI within 1, Henshin. And Jamat, who has been a rebounding terror in her freshman season, is fouled.
Making things difficult for whoever is guarding her on the blocks, whether it's Callie or Perone. And you see that last three-point make from Samantha Flecker. Good pass by Angelique Price there, recognizing when she was open.
Jamat powers it up, got her own miss. Jamat again stays with it. Last year she was a freshman walk-on at Seton Hall. Before looking for a better situation as the blocking foul called against Brooklyn, and Alex Lang saying Jamat, as he wonders about the foul, she could someday be the CUNY Player of the Year.
Absolutely. She's got the intangibles on offense, sometimes tries to do a little bit too much, whether it's dribbling the ball in the paint, but she's got all the technique there, whether or not the confidence to bring it night in, night out.
She's the second leading offensive rebounder in the league despite playing sixth-man minutes. And we've seen that already showcase itself in this championship game. We're about to hit the 5-minute mark of this opening half. Defending champion College of Staten Island has not been able to play their game yet. They're just 5 of 24. Flecker getting her own miss off of a 3. And Pasatoro will take a deep one with Mugen rebounding.
Another tough shot there from Pasatoro. Again, shots that she's made in the past there, finding a hard time.
What a look by Mack, locating Jamat.
And she's been open time and time again on that block, as Chanel's been an animal on the blocks and also contributing on the rebounding too. Here's the dish there from Mack. Not telegraphing the pass, making it difficult for those forwards to recognize the open Jamat. Easy put-in layup there for Chanel.
6 points for Chanel Jamont out of Leon Goldstein High School in Brooklyn, where she had to do it all. Not a great program, but she was recruited by many Division IIs and Division IIIs coming out of high school before choosing the walk-on route to Seton Hall coach Tony Bozzella, who had nothing but wonderful things to say to her, or about her, in his recommendation to Brooklyn coach Alex Lang. Another CSI turnover as Diana Todaro called for the travel.
And Todaro, not used to having the ball at the elbow often. She usually gets the ball on the block. Putting the ball on the floor is not her main strength on offense for sure.
Brooklyn breaking the CSI pressure as the Dolphins desperately trying to speed the game up. Back again to orchestrate. Mugen popping out as she tries to get herself going. That might do the trick. First three for Ali Mugen after missing her first four.
And that is what she is in the game for. She is known to light it up from behind the arc, just needs to find her rhythm. And that could be a big difference maker for Brooklyn if she can get more of those to fall.
Mugen shoots it at 33%. Largest lead of the night for Brooklyn is right now at 8. As the jumper miss, another offensive rebound for Todaro. Out to Pasteur. Still can't get going, but she gets her own miss.
Excellent effort there, recognizing the possibility of the ball coming back to her.
She leaves it for Angelique Price. And Jamont cleaning up the glass.
CSI still not finding the best opportunities to put points on the board, having a tough time getting the ball inside.
And then Jamont, this freshman, does not shy away from the limelight. She's got a game-high 8 off the bench.
She loves having the ball in her hands, and you can see she wants to put up a shot almost every time she gets it.
Brooklyn adds to their largest lead as Cray is fouled.
And Victoria Cray needs to get more involved in offense. She is the facilitator most of the time. You see her bring the ball up time and time again. And here's Jamont there, utilizing her dribble and shoot abilities from the elbow. She could be a force to be reckoned with.
Victoria Cray has the first. And for CSI, their first free throws of the night. And again, the team that feasts by getting to the rim and shooting threes. Victoria Senior out of Moore Catholic in Staten Island has persevered through so much. A torn ACL and the loss of a couple of loved ones recently. As we have a Staten Island foul on the miss.
That's a tough foul there by Victoria Cray. A little frustrated with that free throw miss. And again, don't want to have those fouls called against you on your side of the basket, especially in 4 quarters where it takes 5 fouls to get to the free throw line. That can be costly at the end of this first half.
Brooklyn led after 1 with a 9-4 score. Not quite what we were expecting. And stepping out is Grace Martinez Espinal for 3.
And Coach Alex Lang fired up as Grace is not accustomed to being the one taking those shots. And if that continues to happen for Brooklyn, CSI is in for a long night.
And then a near turnover. It comes out to Flecker. With a long miss, chased down by Samantha Flecker.
It's the second time in a row a CSI shooter able to get her own rebound. Brooklyn a little bit too much waiting for that rebound inside the paint.
Toro will go down the low block, blocked away by the help defender Jamont.
And Brooklyn's defense has been fantastic throughout this first half. It doesn't matter if it's getting out to the shooters behind the arc or forcing blocks inside the paint. CSI not finding the answer here. And another look here. Good move by Pasteur, but excellent help defense there from Jamont. It's another block for her.
We're going to foul inside on the shocked Ali Mugen against Brooklyn. With 1:41 to go, we'll have a reset. As Brooklyn has pushed their lead now to 12. They've matched the number of threes made by Staten Island. That was something you would not have expected. 2 apiece. This one knocked away, and taking it into traffic, Jackie Callie. It'll remain with the Dolphins.
And CSI all out of sorts here in this first half. It's been a struggle time and time again on the offensive side.
Pasteur off of a reset. Goes to the floater, in and out. Pasteur again to the right-hand hook, missed again. 2 misses, and the conference's player of the year has had a stunning start. Martinez Espina, meanwhile, missed the 3.
And that's a crucial miss there. CSI lucky for that ball not to fall in as she was wide open.
Megan McEwen, a freshman from Staten Island Academy, on the floor for the first time for the Dolphins. Pasteur in the final minute, trying to get herself going, and finally gets that one to fall. That wraps a big sigh of relief.
After starting 0 of 12, something that we have never seen Christina do here in her 4 years. She has to get the ball rolling for CSI if they want to come back.
That shrinks it to 10. That's all you need to know why the score is what it is. Christina Pasteur now 1 of 14. A player that shoots it at 46% from the floor and 36 from 3. Rugen with the shot clock at 5, turned it over. And Pasteur ahead to Callie. And Callie left that short. Flecker ducks under and is fouled.
Excellent effort there by Samantha Flecker, realizing Jackie Callie was going to have a tough layup there to add to the fast break points. Right place, right time for that rebound, and trying to get the ball rolling for CSI, trying to do whatever she can to get points on the board.
So Tim Shanahan looks for a late burst from his team, but Samantha Flecker, as he calls her, the best all-around player he's ever coached. Different, but still a major standout like Pasteur. Usually plays the other team's best player. And she knocks down the first. He comes in off of 4 consecutive double-doubles and has 8 on the season. Guard 1 through 5. And they recruited her very hard out of the now soon-to-be closed St. John Villa, which is a major high school program in Staten Island, in an area that is filled with great programs. Flecker misses the second. And Mack handles pressure. With 5 seconds to go in the half. Karen Mack will leave it for the freshman, George. Big finish for Brooklyn. Taylor George knocks down a buzzer-beating 3.
And that is the exclamation point to a good finish for the Brooklyn Bulldogs. At CSI, it's been an incredible start for them and something that we did not expect. They've been struggling all night.
Led by terrific defense and timely shooting, Brooklyn has a 12-point lead at the break. Let's go over to Jillian with Coach Alex Lang.
16-4 run there to end the second quarter, capped off by that 3 from Taylor George. How were you guys able to do it?
That was exciting. We finally got to hit a couple of jumpers, which we hadn't been doing up to that point. I think our defense has been key right now. We're keeping ourselves in the game with the defense. And I think Staten Island's getting a little frustrated. They're trying to put pressure on us, trap us. We're moving the ball now. We're getting open looks. That's good.
Holding Christina Pasteur, CSI's leading scorer, to 2 points in the first half. What's clicking?
I mean, I think our players are obviously very familiar with her. She's off shooting the jump shot, which has helped. But we've contested everything and made it tough.
With the lead that you have, what's going to be your message there at halftime?
We've got to sustain the energy. The reason we have the lead is because we're fired up and we're playing loose. We just got to keep that going in the second half.
Coach, thanks for the time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jillian. Alex Lang's defense getting the job done. When we come back, we'll take a look at the 2018 CUNY Awards Banquet, and Jillian will be joined by some special guests as it's Brooklyn seeking the program's second ever championship and first since 1980 with the 12-point halftime lead. This is the CUNY Women's Basketball Championship game presented by Army ROTC.
No one ever won a race because it was their turn. And guzzling the right sports drink never won all 3 sets. You can't talk your way through a tournament, and luck doesn't last. Real champions know that it takes more to do more, because wanting it just isn't good enough. You've got to be smarter, faster, tougher. After all, if championships were easy, everybody would have one. City University of New York Athletic Conference. Learn, play, succeed.
The 2018 CUNY Basketball Championship is presented by Army ROTC and in association with Municipal Credit Union and by the Hospital for Special Surgery and by Modell's. You've got to go to Mo's. And by Pepsi and the University Student Senate. (28-16), top-seeded Brooklyn College right now leading the defending champion College of Staten Island Dolphins tonight in the CUNYAC Women's Basketball Championship game presented by Army ROTC. Earlier this month, the beautiful Water Club in Manhattan hosted the annual CUNY Athletic Conference Basketball All-Star Luncheon. Let's take a closer look at the award winners. Each February, prior to the CUNYAC Men's and Women's Basketball Championships, the conference's all-stars from the season gather at the spectacular Water Club on Manhattan's East Side. 2018 marks the 53rd year that there's a men's CUNY Basketball Championship. The Players of the Year were honored, including Chimechi Ekekubor, a senior from Baruch who became the program's all-time leading scorer earlier this season.
My goal is just to go out there and get some W's, but it does mean a lot to me. It means all the hard work I put in every day with the guys has paid off, and I'll be listed as one of the greats, so it means a lot for my legacy.
On the women's side, rarefied air was achieved as Staten Island senior Christina Toro became the 2-time CUNY Player of the Year.
It's an honor to repeat, but again, couldn't have done it without coach or my team, because as you pointed out before, like in high school I wasn't like this, so things definitely changed for me in college.
The Community College All-Stars were also honored, including the Hostos Women's Program, which ranks #1 since the middle of December, pursuing an NJCAA National Championship.
We put in a lot of work from our coaching staff, our entire athletic department, and the players in our program. Being recognized as being #1 just shows that, it can happen. It can happen for CUNY. It can happen for Region 15. And we're just proud. We're proud to be able to represent our region that way.
CUNY Commissioner Zach Ivkovich also spoke to the crowd gathered, talking about how balanced the field has ever been.
We're seeing it a lot more on the women's side. Obviously, Hostos being #1 in the country means a lot. On the senior college side, Brooklyn and Staten Island being regionally ranked and getting some national votes with both over 20 wins. So I think that's really where the impact is seen the most. Obviously, we're not forgetting the men, but they're taking a little bit of a backseat in terms of the visibility aspect this year, which is cool because they've enjoyed that for a long stretch. But I think on the women's side, this might be our strongest year yet.
Additionally, in 2018, CCNY Army ROTC Director Dr. Rishi Raj was honored with a special award for his commitment to helping the CUNY student athlete. The luncheon was opened up by the CUNY Vice President for Student Affairs, Christopher Rosa.
I'm humbled by the greatness to which you allow others to aspire. Through your leadership, through your excellence, you make me proud to be in your company. So congratulations on all your accomplishments. It's my honor to be mentioned in your same breath today. Thank you.
The CUNY Athletic Conference is proud of all their student athletes, and we thank them for their dedication and congratulations. 28-16 Brooklyn College looking for the program's second ever title. They're halfway there to their first since 1980. They lead the defending champion Dolphins 28-16. When we come back, Jillian Sakovitz will have some special guests here from CCNY.
If it weren't for CUNY, I probably would have second-guessed my potential. I'm a first generation in terms of going to college, getting a degree. I'm able to provide for my family a lot more, and it's something that I didn't think was originally possible. CUNY is equalizing the playing field for students, particularly students of color, students who are low income, and students who are first generation.
Nobody in my family went to college. Now I not only learned English, I graduated and then I am teaching English, helping immigrants.
Welcome back, Brooklyn. Welcome back. Brooklyn College leads 28-16, and I am joined by Brooklyn College President Michelle Anderson. Michelle, you know the CUNY system well. You're at CUNY Law for 10 years, and now your second year with Brooklyn. What makes the CUNY system so unique?
Wow, it is the largest urban university probably in the world. It's amazing. It's got these 24 campuses, and Brooklyn College is a real jewel in the heart of the borough of Brooklyn.
What separates Brooklyn College from the rest? You mentioned it's a jewel. Why, in your opinion?
Well, so we've got extraordinary academic programs in one of the most beautiful campuses in the world, one of the most diverse student bodies in the world, and a real enthusiasm for academic engagement on the part of everyone, faculty, staff, and students.
Now in the middle of your second year at Brooklyn, what's been your favorite part there so far?
Look, my favorite part has been learning the students, learning the faculty, learning the community, learning the campus, and really having everyone open up their arms and welcome me as a part of that community. I love the place. I am thrilled to be there and so proud of our scholar athletes here tonight.
All right, Michelle, I got to get your first half thoughts. Your school has a nice lead. What's been your impressions of the first half so far?
Okay, it's defense. It's all about defense. Our team is amazing. They have some strong shooters, but really they are blocking at every turn the other side's opportunity to move in and score. We have an incredible team, and it's all about an incredible amount of get up and go that they've got.
And we were talking about it earlier, a fantastic and electric atmosphere here tonight. How rewarding and important is that for your student athletes?
Look, they come here, they work incredibly hard, they are committed to their schoolwork and the athletic program. And to have us show up and really cheer for them, be a part of this and share in their enthusiasm, I think it means the world to them. I was able to meet them in the locker room ahead of time. I took selfies with every one of the team players, and they were thrilled, and I'm so happy to be here.
We'll have to get our hands on those selfies, I think, in a little bit.
Yeah.
More coming up in just a bit, guys.
The service corps, aside from giving students valuable experience working with other people in the city and giving back, when I graduated I had 3 job offers, and all of this was because of the service corps. It played an incredible role in me getting into law school. The public service nature of CUNY has really fueled my desire to make sure that the life I live and everything I do is geared towards uplifting other people.
No one ever won a race because it was their turn. And guzzling the right sports drink never won all 3 sets. You can't talk your way through a tournament, and luck doesn't last. Real champions know that it takes more to do more, because wanting it just isn't good enough. You've got to be smarter, faster, tougher. After all, if championships were easy, everybody would have one. City University of New York Athletic Conference. Learn, play, succeed.
I'm a CUNY early college graduate where I graduated with my high school diploma and associate's degree. Being that I was so young taking college classes gave me more motivation to continue my education. I went on to finish my undergrad at Brooklyn College. And I currently work as a 6th grade math teacher at the same very school that I graduated from as an early college student.
When I decided to enroll back into school, being a mother, it was hard in getting back into studying. So I went through Math Start instead of having to do the remedial. And I continued into the ASAP program, which has been life-changing for me.
I started in the continuing education program as an ESL student. And my interaction with faculty really changed my view on how much education can provide.
Brooklyn College seeking the program's first title since 1980. And they've used defense to right now contain the hot shooting CSI Dolphins. And they have a 12-point lead at the break. Welcome back to CCNY alongside Nick Levantis. I'm Ralph Bednarczyk. Well, Nick, I think the way the game has gone, we did not expect it to go this way. What has been the biggest surprise to you?
The biggest surprise is CSI's inability to find offensive. They've been unable to find anything going on the offensive side. It's been an incredible performance from Brooklyn on the defensive side. Chanel Dramat doing everything right for this Brooklyn Bulldogs team. CSI is going to have to do some waking up here, try to eliminate the pressure from this fan base, and they're just going to have to get more offensive opportunities, better percentage shots in the second half.
And let's look at our first half highlights. Brooklyn with a lot of defense. They were able to finish off chances underneath.
And Jensen there getting her team off to a good start with that mid-range jumper. Karen Mack, a good first half performance, something that she couldn't do last year. And she's been very composed throughout this first half of the Bulldogs. Excellent pass there to Jamat. Easy layup there. Karen Mack again to Jamat. Jamat from the elbow. She's had a fantastic start to this game. If she can continue the way that she's been playing, they'll be fine. Angelique Price there with her three-point make. One of the few that CSI has been able to get to fall. Samantha Flecker followed up with one of her own right after that. So finding the open shot is going to be key for CSI in this second half if they want to get back into this game. Christina Pasteur, after going 0 for 13, able to finally get on the board there. And this last shot with Taylor George making her three, huge boost going into the locker room for Brooklyn, as you see, up to a 12-point lead.
16.5% shooting from the floor for Staten Island. Brooklyn up to 36%. Just 2 threes made by the Dolphins, and we did not expect Brooklyn to outshoot the Dolphins from 3 in the first half.
And that's one of the things that Tim Shanahan had to get the message across at halftime. We're doing fine taking shots. We have to take smarter shots and not try to force things inside without it being too compact in the paint, because Brooklyn is everywhere on defense.
28-16, Brooklyn with the lead. As the Dolphins a year ago were able to win a low-scoring game, 53-42. We'll see what will happen in the second. Staten Island will have possession to open up the third quarter. The Dolphins held to a first half low, 16 points. Their season low in the game was 62 also at Brooklyn, but they get the third quarter started exactly the way they'd like to. They get an early bucket.
Excellent start there. Excellent V-cut from Samantha Flecker, able to get her defender to bite and find the open space for that layup.
Flecker with 8 to lead Staten Island. Brooklyn is ahead in scoring by the 8 points from freshman Chanel Jamat off the bench. Veronica Green, and her pass overthrown and intercepted by Victoria Gray.
You saw that turnover coming. CSI putting the pressure on.
And now Flecker drills a 3. And these are the Dolphins we were expecting to watch tonight. And here's an early timeout, Alex Lang. In less than a minute, the momentum has completely changed.
An excellent 50 seconds from the CSI Dolphins coming out of the break. Excellent man-to-man defense. You saw the pressure early in the shot clock, creating that turnover there. And here you see it. Good steal there by Victoria Cray. Able to look up and find Samantha Flecker in the corner. She's got to take more of those three-pointers and get this team rolling, as that was just shy inside the three-point arc. But still, any points at this moment will get CSI rolling, as they've cut it to 8 points in a matter of 50 seconds.
So Brooklyn using the early timeout, but this Dolphins team has played an outstanding non-conference schedule this season. And as Coach Tim Shanahan said, that he cringes at the accolades that we get because he tries to turn a deaf ear to it. There's no givens in life, and he hopes that his girls are able to keep such a very good, not getting too high or too low kind of mindset and avoid overconfidence. But they started this season off really special. They played Division I Wagner College at the Northeast Conference, and they led that game by as many as 16 points. And they were up 5 with 2 minutes to go, didn't box out, missed a couple of free throws and lost by 5. They should have beaten Wagner, a Division I program that is rebuilding, but a Division III team within the same borough should have beaten a Division I program the last couple of years. That's how talented the Dolphins have been.
Absolutely. They have the athletic squad to beat any teams in the Division II level, even some in the Division I level, as they came up short against Wagner those 2 times. When they're on the offensive side, CSI is a very tough team to beat.
And good Division III wins like NYU and William Patterson, as Mugen loses it. Pass to Toro, and the blocking foul.
And that was one thing that we were trying to say before the half started. CSI has to do a better job getting to the foul line. They're a good free throw shooting team in this conference. That'll be an easy way for CSI to cut the deficit, as Toro can cut it within 6 if she makes both of these.
A 73% free throw shooter, as it's in and out. She says she is one of the most competitive people you'll meet. She has a full scholarship. She's expected to New York Law School awaiting her. As she misses both, though, and the ball goes out of bounds to Brooklyn.
Good hustle there. It actually looked like a jump ball there. Samantha Flecker coming from behind to get hands on the ball.
Mack against pressure. Mugen, and she was fouled while attempting the 3.
And that's not the smartest foul. Mugen rushed that shot in order to get her team some points here to start the second half. So you can see Karen Mack breaking the press with a good pass there. And Flecker trying to do whatever she can to get a hand in her face, slapping her shooting right hand.
Second foul on Samantha Flecker. Allie Mugen is a 5'10 junior from Brooklyn's Midwood High School. And she earned second team all-conference honors this year for the first time in her career. She has played more on the perimeter this season. And for Division III, a very tall wing as she makes the second. One of 3. And Flecker able to rebound. She has all 5 points for the Dolphins to open up the third quarter. Flecker on the back cut, took it into traffic and scores again.
And taking matters into her own hands. You said she had the first 5 points for CSI in the half, making that 7 with that layup. She's going to be a huge difference maker if she can continue to get things going for CSI.
The Dolphins crowd trying to get their CSI team going. Mugen threw it away.
Another excellent defensive possession there from the Dolphins. Continuing switching off of those screens from Brooklyn. And Karen Mack trying to get the ball inside, overthrowing her teammate.
The Dolphins 21-5 officially, but they did have 2 losses due to a paperwork snafu that had to go down as forfeitures. Convoluted story, but basically on the floor they've gone 23-3, and there's a pull-up jumper, and Samantha Flecker has played like a star in this third quarter.
9 straight points for Flecker here, and now CSI all of a sudden within 5 points.
George and her pass through the hands of Henshin.
And for a split second it looked like the refs didn't know where that ball was last hit, but it will be CSI's ball here. Samantha Flecker, nice step back, shooting it from the free throw line, nothing but net. And she's been the difference maker for CSI this third quarter.
She had 14 and 14 in the semifinal victory over Lehman. Flecker this time defended by Grace Martinez Espina. Toro met a switch against the zone. Then stepping out is Diana Todaro.
CSI starting off red hot from the offensive side here. Brooklyn trying to put the pressure on, but CSI has all the answers in this third quarter.
That's already 10 quick points for the Dolphins. George to a floater, and Flecker rebounds. Up ahead, Flecker hit the bottom of the backboard on a good look from Pasteur. We'll get the jump ball this time. The arrow points to CSI.
Interesting call there. Looked like it was called. And there, Samantha Flecker, 14 points of 6 of 8 from the field, including 9 points in this quarter. CSI with the ball now. It looked like it was a loose ball. Interesting jump ball decision by the refs. It will stay CSI's ball though.
The isolation for Pasteur as the pass is deflected. Intended for Jackie Cowan. Now 10 to shoot. Flecker came off of a screen. Got Mugen in the air. And wild shot. Just hit backboard.
Excellent defensive possession there from Brooklyn. Knowing that Flecker was going to get the ball again, as she's had the hot hand this quarter. But fumbling that pass threw off her whole momentum there. It cost them a good opportunity.
Mack settles into a jumper. Karen Mack, her own miss. So Brooklyn would like to control the tempo, and Mack, the senior point guard, will. Played at Eleanor Roosevelt High School in Manhattan. Getting the dribble handoff. George got Flecker off balance. Mugen with 10 to shoot. George and Flecker got a piece of it and the block.
The key there, those defensive stops there, not jumping on the pump fake, as Taylor George tried to do it twice and both times wasn't able to get a clean shot there.
Staten Island gives it back with the travel. But CSI is cutting to 3. They've outscored Brooklyn 10-1 in the third quarter. 10 points in a hurry after scoring just 16 in the opening half. The Dolphins have scored as many as 104 points this season. That was a win at John Jay December 2nd. 3 times they've gone over 100, just to give you some context about how surprising this score is. But we've seen this last year where it was just a 53-42 final. As we have the travel against Jasmine Henshin, clearly any championship game will have a much different atmosphere to it in terms of what's at stake compared to playing in an afternoon contest in December.
Absolutely, and as you're seeing it here, a lot of turnovers, a good amount that you wouldn't see during the regular season as the pressure is on all these players playing on this court.
Flecker against the zone. Back rimming the jumper. Rebound ripped away. The follow-up by Pasteur.
Second chance points there for CSI. As Pasteur, she needs to get more involved, and she's going to not be shy, as you can see, getting that offensive rebound with two Brooklyn girls on her and not giving up on the play.
This one poked away from behind by Price. Staten Island trying to take advantage of the turnover, and Flecker does on the jumper. CSI has shaken off their tough first half. The defending champions grab the lead at 30-29.
And Flecker has been red hot this third quarter. The jump shot almost every time looking like it's going to go in, as she's making her fourth jumper this quarter. CSI, all the momentum in their favor.
A game-high 17 points for Samantha Flecker. Flecker out of St. John Villa, came off the bench as a freshman, but she's been a 3-year starter and a mainstay. Is so tough, as Tim Shanahan told the story back in December. She had a 104-degree temperature and had pneumonia, paid a hospital visit then, still wanted to play the day after, and came out and performed well. And Flecker has put together quite the show.
She really has, and you see right here all the opportunities that she's been able to cash in this quarter, able to find the open space, as Flecker's shots have been on money this quarter. CSI going to have to keep feeding it her way, as she's been the red hot hand this quarter. Pasteur as well, not giving up on any of those possessions, being in the right place at the right time for those offensive rebounds, as she made that offensive layup off the Flecker miss. CSI, the experienced team out of the two right now in this game, proving it right here in the third quarter.
Staten Island shooting 7 of 10 in the first 5 minutes and 2 seconds of the third to surge ahead. And it's been their best stretch of the night. Tim Shanahan's team comes in winners of 5 in a row, 10 in a row, if you take the forfeitures out, where they won those 2 games very handily on the court. The stats still count for the individual players, and the NCAA will acknowledge those wins. That's why there is a chance that should CSI fall tonight, they could still make the NCAA tournament as an at-large, becoming the first ever in CUNY history. Mack, beautiful patrolling through the lane and breaking pressure. Jamot finishes the lay-in.
That's a good answer off that timeout there. Brooklyn trying to make sure CSI doesn't continue their offensive prowess here in the third quarter. It's a big defensive possession for them.
Jackie Callie, and she's fouled by Jamot while attempting a 3.
And that foul coming in the last half of that shot. It wasn't an initial hit off of the 3-point attempt from Callie. Chanel getting there extremely late, and that's not a foul that Brooklyn Bulldogs need here. Jackie Callie, good free throw shooter.
Callie to the line. Tim Shanahan says she could be one of the smartest players I've ever coached, and maybe a future coach. Comes from great bloodlines. Her grandfather is retired Staten Island Hall of Fame coach Bob Daggett. He was the longtime St. Peter's Prep girls coach before that program. And girls program of the school closed down, unfortunately, a few years ago. Daggett coached 23 years with Staten Island Prep. They were a perennial city power. Well, Callie, just 1 of 3. As Mack nearly fumbled it away. And Mack on the reset. Mack pitching out to Mugen. A fall-away 3. Reaching for it is Jamot. And it's going to go back to Staten Island.
It was Jamot and Henshin there in prime position to grab that rebound, but not knowing that the two teammates were together, costing them that offensive rebound, and they could have used another possession there.
Angelique Price weaves her way through and picks up the armbar foul. No, check that. It's the armbar against Price.
And that's not a smart move there by Angelique Price early in the shot clock, and Coach Shanahan letting her know that she had plenty of time to create offense there, not having to do it within 10 seconds of the shot clock. They want to take as much time as they can, but find the right shot as well.
Brooklyn has been held to just a 1 of 5 start in the third quarter. Nick, what's been the difference so far, besides just the energy level of CSI being so much different?
Experience has a lot to do with it, knowing that they've had this experience before last year, never giving up in the game, and when it looked like it was so bleak for CSI, making it a tie ball game within 5 minutes of play.
Brooklyn getting the offensive rebound after Jamat missed a good look inside, and this will stay with the Bulldogs. Well, the third meeting of the season between these two, and they were a pair of wild ones. The team that won the game severely out-rebounded the loser. But in the first game of the season between the two, at Staten Island where Brooklyn won, as there is Jamat inside. She has 12. Brooklyn built a 29-point lead on the road before CSI cut it to 2 with a remarkable comeback and almost pulled it out. So there is some precedence between these two this season. That's lost out of bounds as Mack thought she was fouled.
Yeah, it looks like Coach Lang is trying to convince the refs that it was a blocking foul that caused that ball to get out of control there. And Coach Alex Lang not happy with the lack of a call there. CSI will try to slow things down here.
Gray dribbles out of the pressure of George. Angelique Price spun it short. And then Price is fouled on the rebounding action.
That's a tough foul call against Mack there. Both players going up for the rebound, and it looks like that's going to force Karen Mack to take a seat on the bench for a couple of minutes. That is not what Coach Lang wanted, as she's been their leader the entire season.
Just the first foul on Karen Mack. The backup point guard in, Michelle Pena. Price in rhythm. Offensive rebound, Callie. And Callie is fouled.
Excellent offensive rebound there by Jacqueline Callie. Knowing that shot was going to be put up by Price. In the right position there, finding the space, and smartly going up with it with 2 people on her. She'll have 2 more free throws.
That's the second on Michelle Pena, and the 4th team foul of the quarter. So Callie returns to the line. Callie, they thought they might have lost her for the season. 5'7" junior out of the Notre Dame Academy. She had a really bad knee injury in the home game against Brooklyn. But they're thankful it was just a bone bruise. And she misses the second with Jamat rebounding. Staten Island has had chances to build a lead. But it's Brooklyn by 2 as we near the 2-minute mark of the third quarter. The Bulldogs' defense was the story in the first half, leading the game 28-16. Toro with the deflection on Mugen, and then she races ahead and finishes.
Excellent steal there by Toro, reading the eyes of Mugen, and Mugen telegraphing that pass a little bit. Toro recognizing it and able to finish the turnover.
Toro, after missing her first 13 shots of the night, has made her last 3. George into Jamat. Jamat recovers. Jamat again. On a third effort, the freshman muscles it up and 1.
Jamat never giving up on those blocks there. And she's had a tough time getting those initial layups to go. But as you can see, she's been the reason why Brooklyn's had a lot of offensive rebounds tonight. And she's always a force to be reckoned with for those CSI forwards on the blocks there. And she's muscling whoever's guarding her, going up for those rebounds.
Her first career game at Kane University. Talk about an introduction, as you have a 12-12 game right now from this freshman, but she had a 16-point and career-high 21-rebound game against a quality program, Kane University out in New Jersey. She misses the free throw. Good look inside as Price is fouled. What a pass from Flecker. And now it's overruled. Our official on the near sideline, Rich Fetter, calls it the other way.
I wonder if it's travel there by Price or travel on Flecker on the pass. Either way, that's a questionable call there after getting overturned. Thought it would be Price shooting 2 free throws there, and we have another look of it here. And that's a questionable call. It looks like they called it against Price, maybe on the shuffle after the catch. But with that replay, not the best call there.
And our officials that have been doing the honors, Zoe Robbins, Michelle Liu, and Bernard Myers with Rich Fetter. There's Taylor George with her second 3 of the game.
And that's a 5-point swing there almost. Could have been 2 free throws for CSI and then made 3 by Taylor George.
Victoria Gray is off from 3. And then Pasteur runs down a steal. Pasteur through George, offensive foul. And again, an eruption from the Dolphins bench.
And that's a technical against Tim Shanahan there. And the ref seeing the extension of the elbow. Not much contact there, but Taylor George able to sell that call there. And it's going to be technical foul free throws here for Brooklyn. And Tim Shanahan still fired up. And he's been tossed.
Wow, an ejection by Rich Fetter here in the final as Tim Shanahan is not done saying his piece. Consecutive frustrating calls, and his daughter Ali Tingos trying to restrain him, along with assistant coach Victoria Gallinari. This is just a 5-point game, despite the calls against the Dolphins.
And this is incredible. You never see Coach Shanahan get fired up like this. And questionable calls there the last 2 possessions. And this is a wild sequence of events here. You never see Coach Shanahan get fired up the way he just did. But you know what? He's trying to prove a point here to his team. Never give up. The intensity is there. Just to keep up that energy for the rest of the game.
And that was Zoe Robbins. Our official is getting the explanation, or at least will lend an ear now to Tim Shanahan before the technical free throws are shot. And certainly we just saw the replay, but I think the previous call, the travel against Angelique Price, that got the temperature warm, and then the heat was on the second one as Shanahan will eventually be escorted and have to leave the game, and somehow even tune on our stream tonight on Facebook Live to watch the rest of this one.
It's going to be incredible to see this again on rerun, as clearly a lot of the energy that Tim Shanahan had there came from that reversal from a travel to a personal foul to a travel. And Tim Shanahan, he won't be here for the rest of the game, but that ejection should be the energy boost that Staten Island could use when it comes to getting back into this game with still the 4th quarter left to play here.
Taylor George awaits to shoot the technical free throws. George has missed one tonight, but came in at 87% to lead the conference. And she is pure on her form. And the Dolphins have bounced back in a big way from a lackluster first half. George makes a pair, but as Tim has said, I don't do a ton of coaching during practice because they do a lot of scrimmaging. As George, remember it's a 2 separate technical fouls. So she has made 2 of 3. So we'll see if it's his daughter, the former Allie Shanahan, who coaches the team, or Victoria Gallinari. So following the offensive foul, it will be Brooklyn ball. And there is the former Allie Shanahan. Allie had a great career finishing up in 2010. Now she is in the ear of Zoe Robbins. And now Allie Tingo's trying to rally the defending CUNYAC Conference champion Dolphins.
And the fan base for CSI has immediately resurrected, it seems like, with that ejection. And it's going to be a very chirpy rest of the game here.
Mugen, a high arcer, is short. With Perone rebounding. Pastor Toro to leave it. Victoria Cray settling into a 2. And a foul on the floor, and they got Chanel Jamat.
That will be Jamat there. Rosa Perone putting the pressure on for that offensive rebound. Again, 2 players going for a 50-50 ball. Could go either way there. Sometimes better off to let the game go, let the game flow. Instead, it'll be Rosa shooting 2 free throws here.
Perone, just a 38% free throw shooter, but the only 6-foot player on the Staten Island roster. A junior out of Moore Catholic. In the 5th borough, she misses the first. And she does the dirty work along with Diana Todaro for this Dolphins team. Missing wide to the right, but Flecker chases down the miss.
And you see on that free throw attempt, you saw both of the CSI rebounders there crisscross, go opposite sides. Excellent strategy there by the CSI Dolphins as they were both in prime position for that rebound.
Assistant coach Ali Tingos now assuming the head coach responsibilities as her dad Tim Shanahan has been ejected here late in the 3rd quarter. But a player that played and starred for this program. Ooh. And a big collision, both Mack and Callie may have collided, and both looked like Callie popped up instantly and Mack took the brunt of it.
That's 2 players again going for the same loose ball. Unfortunately, it's a shoulder-to-shoulder contact. It looked like Jackie Callie and Kara Mack had some of that force hit their head. So that's always precautionary for both coaches, all the medical staff here on site. Never want to see 2 players go at it like that for a loose ball. Head injuries are never a good thing in any sport. Good to see both of those girls get up.
Callie will shoot the free throws again. Staten Island in a repeat of last year's championship game where they've struggled at the line, and they continue to do so. 3 of 14 at the stripe tonight. A year ago, they were just 7 of 22.
3 of 14 is a staggering number, but 1 for 10 of the period. In a period where they start off so strong, this game could be an 8-point lead on the other side.
A pair of misses again by Callie. Great feed across by Mack, and there is Jamont to beat the buzzer. Brooklyn College able to weather the CSI storm, and it's the Bulldogs seeking the program's 2nd CUNY championship and 1st since 1980. They have a 10-point lead as we go to the 4th. The Bulldogs taking the momentum right back at CCNY. The CUNYAC Women's Basketball Championship game presented by Army ROTC. welcome back tonight from CCNY. There's Ali Tingos, CSI Dolphins assistant coach, who is now the acting head coach for the remainder of this championship game, of the daughter of head coach Tim Shanahan, who had a tremendous career. She was a graduate assistant at FDU, plenty of coaching experience. She loves this team and program, and now she tries to steer them to their second straight CUNY championship. But they'll have to do it coming back from behind. A deflection off the inbound, and Brooklyn will try again.
And CSI is going to have to put pressure on for the entire quarter. You see them from the get-go with the full court pressure. Looks like the refs are discussing something here.
Ali Tingo scored over 1,000 career points, was a great player. As this ball lobbed in, and George came up with it, but then turned over the pass.
And that's a great idea by the Brooklyn Bulldogs there, almost working as Jack and Callie was almost there, not realizing George was right behind her. Almost cost the Dolphins 2 points.
Victoria Gray tried to dribble baseline, turned it over. Karen Mack on the push for Brooklyn. She'll take the transition jumper and left that well short. And then the steal by Mugen as she deflected it, and Mack gets it back. Out to Mugen for a high arcer. Pasteur will chase down this miss. The Dolphins have tried all night to try to push the tempo, as Pasteur is blocked by Henshin.
It's been a wild start to the quarter. Both teams struggling to keep control of the ball. Their excellent block there. And it looks like that was Henshin.
Pasteur missed a three. She gets her own miss. Pasteur fights for possession. The Arrow will keep it with Staten Island. It's been a very frustrating night for the conference's two-time player of the year, a 2,000 career point scorer. She has not hit a three. She is 0 of 9 after that miss. To make it 0 of 8. And she averages 3.5 made threes per game, which leads the league and is third in the NCAA in that category. As Flecker misses a layup.
That's a costly miss there. They need as many points as they can possibly have here in this quarter. That was a good opportunity to cash in and cut this lead inside single digits. Only going to be tougher if CSI can't capitalize on those.
A foul underneath as Jasmine Henshin was taken down by Jackie Callie. But the Dolphins are so capable of exploding, as we've even seen. And Alex Lang, he said, maybe the one thing he has learned from being in the CUNY championship game for the 6th time in the last 7 years is taking timeouts earlier. Instead of allowing runs to get to 10-0 against you, limit them, nip them in the bud before they really mushroom into something that you can't climb back from.
And that's proven again tonight. They only have one more timeout left, but with a 10-point lead, not the biggest deal. CSI down 10, 4 timeouts. They could use those to their advantage, and that could be key for them if they do, in fact, add on to this game and create what could be an intense finish with a couple more baskets here.
Mugen running out of time, got it into Henshin. And Henshin missed a chippy. However, Flecker did not secure the rebound.
And Flecker disagrees with that call. I'd like to see another replay there. That's 50-50. Could have gone anybody's way. But the ref right there for that decision.
Henshin as she pivots through, and she is hammered. And 2 early team fouls against the Dolphins.
Take a look at this one again. Good fake there by Henshin. And Rosa Perone clearly ramming into her. Not a smart foul there. Wasn't going to the basket at the time of contact. Luckily, not a shooting foul. They will be taking it underneath. CSI getting away with another could be costly foul there.
So good dribbling and then a foul as Michelle Pena had the CSI defense on their heels, but call that actually going the other way. Offensive foul.
Good move there by Pena, creating the space, but it looked like Flecker was moving her feet there. Could have been a blocking foul. As you see those all the time. You see refs like to take and make those charge calls. Another example of that here.
Samantha Flecker leads all players with 16 points, scoring 9 points in a flurry to open up the third to get the Dolphins the lead for a short time. As the Brooklyn zone commits a foul, their first of the quarter. And Taylor George picking up her first, non-shooting. The Dolphins' season low in points, 62 in the game that they won at Brooklyn back on February the 8th, as that's a good-looking shot from Rosa Perone off the glass.
That's a big make there by Rosa Perone, someone who's not accustomed to be making points here in the fourth quarter, as they're going to need them from anyone if they want to make a comeback.
Here's the 6'3" center, Veronica Green, taking the jumper, but Taylor George will somehow find the rebound.
And it's going to be second chance opportunities that could make the difference here for Brooklyn College if they come away with the victory. CSI have to corral every rebound, every opportunity they get.
Green, who is a native of Norway, shows off the beautiful turnaround jumper.
And that's an excellent capitalization there. And
this one's turned over by Pasteur.
An unusual turnover there for Pasteur.
Rally Tingo's trying to rally her team, but she's involved in the day-to-day under her dad. Such a family atmosphere that Coach Shanahan could not say enough about how proud he is of the players he gets a chance to coach, and describes that, look, I'm along for the ride. It's these players that make it happen. And they have a chance to do that as they trail by 10. Mack on the kick out, leaving it for Mugen. Jamont with another offensive rebound. George is open for three.
Second chance opportunities. That's the second possession in a row where it's happened for Brooklyn. But CSI now down 13.
Then we'll get the travel. Bernard Myers and Zoe Robbins agreeing against Todaro, but more work on the offensive glass by Chanel Jamont.
And you see the excellent effort there by Jamont. Finding Green, who saw Taylor George extremely open for that three-point make. She won't miss those.
Chanel Jamont, Nick, has an incredible 16 and 13 game for a freshman. 10 of her 13 rebounds are on the offensive glass, as she has it blocked away by Perone.
Big defense here. CSI needs to answer with points here off the turnovers.
Pass to Toro. Front rim on the three. And look at George rise above and grab the miss at 5 foot.
Everywhere on the court. She seems to do it on both sides of the court. Smallest person there grabbing a defensive rebound. That makes a difference in the fourth quarter, especially when they're up by 13.
Brooklyn turns it over with Jamont committing her fourth personal foul. So she's going to have to exit, and Mack perhaps gets her final breather of the night, and maybe for just a quick moment.
That's a smart strategy there by Coach Lang. Up by 13, knows that extending Karen Mack down the stretch, trust their backup point guard Pena to take care of it for a couple minutes.
Largest lead for Brooklyn as Price made her move.
Good aggressiveness by Angelique Price. Before her injuries throughout the year, Angelique Price was a flashy slasher going to the basket time and time again.
It is a huge number, and once again, CSI, they dodged the bullet last year by struggling at the free throw line. This year, they have not, just 3 of 15. Price, a 65% free throw shooter, misses the first. But she can put together big games. Last year, she had 14 and 9 against Brooklyn in the CUNY final. But this year's been a struggle with plantar fasciitis. Many great basketball players have struggled with that in their careers and taken some time. Price makes one of two. As we get the turnover, as Pena dribbled it on the sideline.
And that will force CUNYAC to come right back into the game. Coach Lang recognizing this not the time to make these costly turnovers and mistakes. CSI can turn it up at any moment. And with 5:57, still time left to do so.
And CSI has only knocked down 2 threes, 2 of 20 from beyond the arc. Price trying to change that. Pasteur had the rebound tipped to her. The Dolphins look for one more spurt. Great feed by Price, finding the cutting Toro.
Those are the looks that they're going to need. That's a bad foul there by Samantha Flecker. But we'll see it here. Great transition by Price, finding the open Toro. Good cut by Diana, finding the empty space on the block. They're going to need to rely on offensive possessions like that if they're going to want to make it back with 5:36 left to play.
Third on Flecker and the third team foul of the fourth. Brooklyn brings in another ball handler. Here is junior Emma Summers. Summers has returned to be a backup point guard off of a torn ACL suffered in the first game of the season last year. Mugen to the opposite wing. Mack. Henshin had the rebound, but she was tied up. It will remain with Brooklyn.
Excellent effort from both players there. Henshin, the taller of the two players, able to get on the inside for better positioning on the rebound. And I'm not sure what the stoppage here is. The call was jump ball on the floor.
Now officials are going to give an explanation now to Ali Tingos about what that was. Zoe Robbins is going to come over to the table here and tell us what's up. And they're asking us to bring up the last play, the jump ball here, to take a look at the monitor. So we will try to oblige on the last play. So Zoe Robbins, Rich Federer are happy with what they saw to make sure they get it correctly while we have the special occasion of having video review in the CUNY Championship game tonight.
Absolutely, you're going to need that video review for anything close 50-50. You never want to get any decision wrong in an environment like this. You saw Coach Shanahan from CSI get tossed from the game because of a controversial foul call. It's up to the refs to get every decision right in championship games like this.
Mack after the reset. 5 minutes to go in the CUNY Women's Basketball Championship game. The senior into the lane and scores. Just a second bucket for Mack, but the lead is now 12.
That's what CUNYAC does. Finds the open lane.
Todaro off the layoff. Price saving the rebound, but Brooklyn chases it down with Martinez Espina. Up ahead to Summers, who got the defender up in the air. Emma Summers on the finish. Largest lead of the night is now for Brooklyn. Toro missing a quick three. Gray looked opposite, and it will stay with Staten Island with a timeout. On the floor, Brooklyn College inches closer, looking for their first title since 1980. The Bulldogs taking a page out of the Staten Island book, pushing forward and getting some transition at CC Edouard. The 2018 CUNY Basketball Championship is presented by Army ROTC and in association with Municipal Credit Union. And by the Hospital for Special Surgery. And by Modell's. You've got to go to Moe's. And by Pepsi. And the University Student Senate. Ian. Ian, any idea for MVP? 52-38. Brooklyn was able to weather the storm from CSI, where the Dolphins took a brief lead in the third quarter, but then an ejection of Staten Island coach Tim Shanahan with 53.8 left in the third. That led to 4 technical free throws. Taylor George made 3. That seems like a major line of demarcation after there was a pair of questionable turnovers by Staten Island, a travel call and then a block charge call. And that took away all the Staten Island momentum as Price on the back cut is fouled.
Another excellent backdoor cut by CSI. This time Angelique Price. Last time she was the facilitator in finding Diana Todaro. These are 2 crucial free throws here. You'll see it again. Excellent cut. Foul there by Henshin. CSI needs their free throws here, and they've been struggling all night.
For Price, she has all the tools Tim Shanahan has described when she puts it all together. But that plantar fasciitis has bothered her in the last year. But her skill level is supreme. She had Division I looks coming out of high school. She makes a pair and has 6. And the foul will be against Pasteur. And that is going to be the 4th team foul against the Dolphins.
No more fouls to give for CSI. They got to be very careful. They don't want to put the wrong shooter at the free throw line. They also don't want to commit silly mistakes.
The pressure on Mugen, and Pasatoro commits her 3rd. As Mack, in the tension of this moment, found a way to have a smile.
It's that kind of night tonight. Pressure is on all these players here. Brooklyn College able to keep the momentum there. And they're a couple of minutes away from what could be their first title in a long time.
Mack, a physical education major, wants to teach and coach in the future, has a 3.7 GPA. What a story she might be able to tell after this one. She makes a pair. The lead back to 14. The Dolphins, an outstanding 3-point shooting team. They've only knocked down 2. On the cut, Flecker, and rimmed out. Cray will pull away the miss. Pasatoro, quick catch and shoot is off. Mack rebounds, and a CSI foul. And there'll be more Brooklyn free throws.
And the effort is there from CSI, trying to do their best to get whatever rebound they can. That time, Cray with the excellent effort. Had Pasatoro, wasn't the most open shot that Christina could have taken there. But CSI trying to do whatever it takes to get back in this game.
Mack back to the free throw line, even had a triple-double this season. 68% free throw shooter, hits the first. Scored over 1,000 points at Eleanor Roosevelt High School. Alex Lang felt very fortunate to find her in the recruiting process as she misses the second. But now the lead is 15. Pasatoro, scoop layup is off. Todaro muscles away with the rebound. Flecker opposite. Pasatoro stepping back. It's off with Jamont rebounding again, and she is fouled.
Again, a good opportunity there for Pasteur. The shot narrowly missing, as those are shots that she's been accustomed to making throughout her career. Brooklyn not giving up any opportunity to grab in defensive rebounds here, and CSI, keeping the aggression there, but at the same time fouling the rebounders last 2 possessions.
A remarkable evening for Chanel Jamont as Brooklyn had to fill in the major shoes of the 5'11 senior Olivia Colbert, who was a two-time first-team all-conference player. And they found perhaps an upgrade. Jamont with 18. And now the ball off the hands of Pasteur.
And you could start to see it slipping away from the CSI Dolphins squad. As it's going to be a timeout called by CSI. With 3:10 left, they're going to try and regroup here, but it may be a little bit too late.
Largest lead of the night at 17, 57-40 Brooklyn. A program that has had their hearts broken many times, including losing in overtime 2 years ago to Lehman. They were the favorites that day before they lost 3 times to Baruch when the Baruch College team was in the midst of an 8-title in 10-year span as they were building up. But then expectations rose. And as Alex Lang said, the winning culture that we've sustained, we were a work in progress after he took over at the age of 24. It was a 2-win program. Now the practices are intense. As he described, it used to be tough to push players to the level that you want as a coach. Now he doesn't have to do that a lot anymore. Now it's the upperclassmen that set a tone. George into Jamont, and Brooklyn breaks the CSI pressure beautifully.
And Brooklyn smartly taking their time, up by 17 points. They don't want to make any ill-advised decisions here down the stretch. Karen Mack, the senior leader, will be on her hands.
Shot clock to 3. George. Summers came down with a miss and was fouled.
It's a good play there by Taylor George, taking it to the hoop. Again, another offensive rebound for the Bulldogs here, as they are not letting CSI make a comeback.
Summers makes the first free throw. What a change of events. Brooklyn now by 19 as this game drastically changed within a matter of 2 minutes late in the third quarter as Mack commits the foul. CSI had a pair of 1-point leads, including their last one midway through the third, Nick, at 30-29. And the Dolphins looked like themselves, taking a lot of threes, playing fast, and shaking off a tough first half, which saw them score a season-low 16 points. How did Brooklyn weather that storm?
Well, the composure has been, to say the least, back and forth. It's been a crazy environment for both of these teams to get anything going when it comes to rhythm. Brooklyn just seems to be the smarter team, and making their free throws is a big difference as well.
Mack has been a master orchestrator of tempo tonight. Then got to the paint. And they're going to go Staten Island ball. I believe it was a tie-up.
It looked like a tie-up.
Pasteur flips up the layup and scores her first point since the very early in the third quarter stage where the game was still very much in the balance.
CSI, the high pressure, still not giving up. 16-point deficit. Brooklyn taking their time, spreading out the offensive floor.
George knocked down a pair of huge threes just when the Dolphins were about to go on a big spurt as Cray came up with a steal and a timeout called actually by Ali Tingos. That might have taken a breakaway layup away as the Bulldogs here will regroup. But for the Dolphins, unless there is a cataclysmic change in momentum and score, CSI will now go into a position where, according to what the NCAA has told the program, they're looking at them as a 23-3 team. Their 2 forfeitures to York College and Medgar Evers are being looked at as as wins by the committee. They're ranked number 3 in the Atlantic region. They're getting votes in the top 25 in the D3Hoops.com poll. Staten Island could become the first ever CUNY at-large selected. And could this conference get 2 NCAA bids for the first time? Alex Lang sure hopes. He is dancing, though, without a sweat. Perone with an and one for CSI.
It's a great pass there by Pasteur, finding Perone wide open. Jamat not able to get a hand there in time. CSI still not giving up, trying to do whatever it takes to keep it a close game.
That was the 5th and final foul on Chanel Jamat, but what a debut in a final. 18 points and 14 rebounds. Mugen off of another free throw miss. Now, yes, many of them were her own misses on the offensive glass, but for a freshman, the stage was clearly not too big for her.
Absolutely not. And you can see the experience coming from a Division I program to Seton Hall. The learning curve that she's had to come into this Brooklyn program, it's certainly making the difference in a big game like this.
Angelique Price. And this one rolls around and drops in for her.
Angelique Price.
They've cut it to 12. Can CSI get a quick takeaway? Summers. Brooklyn does not force. And Mack will make the wise decision.
They had opportunity to shoot 3-pointers 3 times, but smartly taking it out.
Summers in and out. And the rebound will be chased down by Summers. But hold on a second, it's a double dribble.
Summers, for a moment, had it in her hands, realizing that she couldn't touch it for a second time after losing possession there. But excellent effort from both teams again on that same play. Could have been anybody's rebound there. And it took all the way to the half-court line for someone to put hands on it.
They're starting to celebrate on the Brooklyn bench. Perone. And Perone is fouled. With 30 seconds left, Staten Island, one of their main Achilles heels tonight, Nick, has been free throw shooting. At the moment, 7 of 22, an identical number to last year. But they hit just a few more shots a season ago to defeat the Bulldogs, and the waiting game will begin. The Dolphins hope that their non-conference schedule was impressive enough, including a narrow loss to MIT. And the committee can certainly look at and say, look, they should have beaten Division I Wagner. They had a 16-point lead. But that will be a case that they can make. But Brooklyn will certainly know that they'll be able to watch the selection show and know at some point they can scream and yell. A 10 count called against Brooklyn. So it's an 8, make it a 10-point game, still with 20 seconds left. If the Dolphins can get some more quick looks.
They got to get 3-point makes very soon. It's got to be the first opportunity that they can get. 20 seconds, anything quick is good.
Pass to Toro, and then Perone is fouled.
Smart went inside, only took 5 seconds off the clock there. Huge free throws here for CSI with 14.9 left.
So Perone a chance to get some points. The smiles are almost all there for Brooklyn. As Perone makes that first free throw. They've been runner-ups 5 times in this history of a program that struggled for many years through the early 2000s and the 90s. But when Alex Lang took over, he was very optimistic Certainly their new quad made a big difference as Flecker takes it in and missed it. Mack rebounds. CSI not fouling. Brooklyn finally can realize the dream. The Bulldogs, for the first time since 1980, are CUNY basketball champions.
Just an incredible finish from the Brooklyn Bulldogs. And when it seemed like it was going to be a 50-50 game in the third quarter, CSI, with the ejection of Tim Shanahan, clearly affected by the absence of him on the court, and Brooklyn was able to take advantage of that and had a supreme fourth quarter to finish the game off.
Defense has led this new Brooklyn team all season, and they hold Staten Island to by far their season lowest point output of 50. They hold the offensively proficient Dolphins to just 28% from the field and 2 of 24 from 3. Alex Lang of the Bulldogs, they will get to watch the selection show and know that their name is going to pop up.
And they deserve it this year after going through heartbreak of their own last year. But it was almost an identical game. If you look back at it last year, just a reversal of roles. CSI not able to get anything going. And Christina Pasteur, who has been an incredible athlete for this CUNYAC, for this conference, 4 of 24 for the game. That's a huge difference maker. And that's a big reason why CSI takes the loss here tonight.
She's held to a season low 8 points, and perhaps the lowest she has scored in several years. And now the Dolphins will begin a waiting game as they wonder, did we accomplish enough, and will they make history as the first ever CUNY at-large team? But Brooklyn celebrates perhaps an unlikely championship where they've been the favorite several times in the last 5 previous championship games. They were supposed to be the ones, including last year, before they had their hearts broken. A team that had a total of 7 seniors. They lost here 53-42, and it's an entirely new group that stepped right in and accomplished the dream.
Absolutely, and the last 2 years you've seen the more experienced team struggle the most on this floor here. And Brooklyn, avenging last year's loss, Coach Lang knew he had a hungry team coming into tonight, and taking what they experienced last year into the court. Chanel Dramont and Taylor George, the 2 bright newcomers for this Brooklyn Bulldogs team, perhaps making the most impact in tonight's game.
The celebration is on and hugs all around for the Brooklyn Bulldogs, who will enter their first NCAA tournament at 24-3. We're standing by for the post-game interview, and Christina Pasteur and seniors Victoria Cray getting their runner-up trophy. What a tough pill to swallow for 2 great players that got a taste of the championship in the NCAA last year. But as the Bulldogs brought in an entirely new bunch, Alex Lang knew we had some talented newcomers, even going back to the preseason. And look, we have a very good team, and he's been at this now 16 years. I know when the team at the end of November has a chance to be a winner, and regardless of how many new faces they had, it had that look to hit.
Absolutely, and the team played that way tonight. They just knew that if they can play the way that they've accustomed to playing the entire year, they'd be totally fine. And when it came close in the third quarter, they never skipped a beat. Brooklyn was playing the same way that they were playing in the first half, except CSI was doing a little bit more on their end to make more of a difference here. But the fourth quarter was everything for the Brooklyn Bulldogs, never giving up, keeping the pressure on CSI. And Karen Mack, Taylor George, Chanel Jamat, excellent fourth quarter for those three players for this Brooklyn Bulldogs team.
The Bulldogs forced 18 CSI turnovers tonight. And it all started after a strong opening quarter where it was 9-4. And while Karen Mack may not be the most outstanding player of the game, maybe the numbers aren't that loud, but the way that she controlled the tempo may be much more valuable than anything else in the box.
Absolutely. The game was all on her hands. She was the floor general for this Bulldogs team tonight. And even if it wasn't her strongest game, coming off of a great performance on Wednesday night, she made sure that her players were always in check, making sure that they would do whatever it takes to make sure that they weren't going to lose this game 2 years in a row.
Number 31, Samantha.
The Dolphins getting their runner-up medals before a roar will erupt here at CCNY as Brooklyn has waited this a very long time. A couple of years ago when the Brooklyn men won, it was also a Brooklyn women's basketball championship game where they played in the final and lost and then had to watch their men kind of go through the motions and wonder what if that could have been us as they were upset in a CUNY championship game. And today it was just their turn. 59-50 the final. The Dolphins have been given their medals, and in just a second it'll be the Bulldogs' turn. And here's the reaction when the final buzzer made the dream possible.
Yeah, and this Brooklyn Bulldogs team, knowing what it feels like to be on the opposite end, as they had to see CSI celebrate their championship last year. You see all the excited faces on this Bulldogs roster.
And as we talked about in the opening, Nick, the rebounding number would be vital. It ended up being 51 apiece. But when the game was truly in the balance, that appeared to be one statistic that Brooklyn did command, and a big reason why they took this one.
Absolutely, and that's what it comes down to in big games like this. CSI not showing up at the free throw line when they needed to at 10:26. Brooklyn made sure that they could do whatever it takes to capitalize and make sure CSI wouldn't be able to come back. 12 for 18 on the line, but 7 of 8 in the fourth quarter. And that was the big difference.
And the CSI free throw shooting finished, Nick, tonight 10 of 26 for a team that for the season shoots that at 62%. Even at 50% free throw shooting, CSI might have had a different outcome, but that'll be something they'll talk about in the future. But in the present, there is a trophy that is going back to the brand new spectacular quad, as Karen Mack proudly holds it as one of their few seniors.
I can't get any shot.
And for Mack, who struggled mightily in last year's game, shooting just 2 of 13. She shot just 2 of 8, but had 7 assists, 5 turnovers, but did not allow the Dolphins to ever get their spurt ability going.
Yeah. She had a big impact despite not showing in the stat sheet tonight. As the leader that Coach Lang depended on the entire year, always had a bright smile on her face no matter what was going on the court. You saw in the third quarter, you saw CSI come back and make their charge. It never affected the Brooklyn Bulldogs team in a negative way tonight.
And now the Bulldogs, they're all lined up to start to get their championship medals. They've got the trophy. And as I saw in the crowd, several of the recent Brooklyn players were in the stands watching this and likely appreciating this, though while they may not have won it when they were here, there was certainly a big part in building up this program that had to climb from last place in the conference. And it took quite a decade that Alex Lang didn't have a winning season until his 7th year as a head coach. A lot of credit goes to the Brooklyn College administration for sticking and showing patience to Coach Lang before the turnaround season, and eventually started to nip at the heels of Baruch College, who for a decade was the prominent powerhouse in the league.
Absolutely, and that vision has never gone anywhere with this Brooklyn Bulldogs team. As long as Coach Lang is there as their women's basketball coach, they will always put out a competitive, driven team that will always give their 100% night in, night out. And tonight, none of the girls on this Bulldogs team gave up. They recognized that CSI wasn't going to give up themselves in that third quarter. That was a huge difference when it came to the fourth quarter. Brooklyn just wanted it a little bit more, and they saw it in their hands, and they never let it go.
Big hugs as Karen Mack especially gave a strong one to the Brooklyn College president. Now the coaching staff is, look at that smile by Alex Lang. When he took over in 2002-03, the team was coming off of an 0-26 season, had only about 6 players coming back. It was a complete rebuild. And now look at what they've accomplished at 24-3 and having their 6th straight 20-win season. They'll take a photo op, and then we will have an interview with at least the tournament's most outstanding player and perhaps Alex Lang. But the Bulldogs, they've watched this championship celebration many times, and now they get a chance to have that banner and trophy in front of them for the photo op. Still to come on Facebook Live, I'll be joined by Ray Rankus to bring you the Lehman versus College of Staten Island men's championship game that should be tipping off at about 8:40 or so tonight. So you can stay with us for the CUNY men's basketball championship game presented by Army ROTC. And thanks to all the great sponsors with the CUNY Athletic Conference, including Con Edison, one of the longest standing sponsorships in college athletics. Brooklyn with the 24 wins. That's also setting a new program, or tying a program record from the 2013 season. And they still want so many more pictures. Why not? Congratulations to the Bulldogs that were able to dig very deep tonight when it looked like CSI was about to get playing their game, and each time they were able to stop it. And the most outstanding player is a freshman. And that, I believe, has never happened before in CUNY Women's Basketball Tournament Championship play, to have a freshman, but this is one like no other, Nick. Redshirting last year where she was a walk-on at Division I Seton Hall. She finishes with a spectacular 18-14. And Jamat will be joining us, but first, Jillian has Alex Lang.
The goal coming in, for the season. Obviously, we had a very new team from last year, but our focus never wavered throughout the year. We had a very determined group. This is a great moment for them. I've been here for a long time. Some of them, it's their first years at Brooklyn College, but they represented being a Bulldog as best as they could, and this was a great night tonight.
You mentioned being here for a long time, 16 seasons at Brooklyn College. What was unique about this year's group?
I told Brittany before the game, I said, I think they're too young and stupid to be scared in the moment right now. Most of our players haven't been in this game before. We've had a bunch that have, because we've been in it 4 years in a row, and we haven't had success. But I don't think that for a second any of our players, the newer players especially, doubted that we could win this game. And obviously Staten Island made a great run to start the second half. We held on tight. I called a couple timeouts. We settled them down. we came and played our game for 40 minutes, which was great to see.
Coach, thanks so much for the time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And next up we have our MVP, Chanel. Let's see it. Chanel, your coach just alluded to it. Emotions ran high in the third quarter. CSI really made things interesting. What allowed you guys to keep your composure?
We knew that they were going to come out and give us all they got. They're not a team known for quitting, and we knew that we had to come out and match their intensity. Every time they went on a run, we knew that we wanted to go on a run as well and make sure we stopped them and just keep going.
Chanel, for you, 18 points, 10 offensive rebounds. What allowed you to be so successful here tonight and step up when your team needed you?
I just try my best to hustle and get every rebound I can. I know that even though I'm not very tall or I'm not the tallest out there, I know that I can get position and get a rebound. And rebounding helps my team the most, so that's what I want to do. Anything that helps my team, that's what I want to do.
Your coach alluded to the fact that maybe your youth, that this team's youth helped you guys because you just kind of came out here. For you personally, your first year with Brooklyn, tonight, what did this all mean to you?
It means the world. It means the world. And I don't even play for recognition much, but this MVP means the world, and I want to share it with the rest of my teammates because without them, I wouldn't have it.
Well, go enjoy it with your team, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Guys.
Thank you, Jillian, and congratulations to freshman Chanel Jamont. Just looking at the quick research, she is the first freshman to ever be CUNY Tournament MVP, and deservedly so. Her rebounding with 18 points, 14 rebounds, just demoralizing all night to Staten Island. CSI held to a season low 50 points, shooting 28% and 2 of 24 from 3, and struggling at the free throw line. The normally offensively proficient Dolphins were held in check by the league's #1 defense. The final score, 59-50. Brooklyn College will be dancing for the first time. Will CSI join them? That wraps things up here from CCNY for our entire crew. This game was produced and directed by Andy Brill, for my partner Nick Diamantis, and for sound reporter Jillian Zakovitz. I'm Ralph Bednarczyk, thanking you for watching the CUNY Women's Basketball Championship game presented by Army ROTC.